2006 starts off with quite a list. Some of the most powerful cards in the game immediately getting limited or even banned. An excellent way to begin History of the Banlist Season 2. First, a little housekeeping though. The TCG and OCG banlist for this era are either identical or very close to it, so the videos will be combining the two lists. This may result in more than one video per year, but hopefully it cuts out redundancy. Now, for the list. A few GOAT staples hit the chopping block, with Cyberjar, Tribe Infecting Virus, and Dark Hole all moving from limited to banned. Perhaps clearing the way for Mirror Force to return to the limited status. All three cards function as mass removal, but Cyberjar has the added benefit of card draw when drawing spells and traps, and swarming when drawing low-level monsters. Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity switch places again, with the two strongest draw cards in the game not being allowed to coexist simultaneously. Another factor contributing to Pot of Greed's ban might have been Pot of Avarice, which had a more difficult activation requirement and was also limited this format. We have talked about them in length already, but Victory Dragon is an entirely different breed. Although difficult to pull off, the card is a match winner, a category of cards which would later become illegal, bearing the text, "This card cannot be used in a duel." One thing I find funny about this card is that, in the TCG at least, you could just forfeit the game before your life points reach 0. So not only is the card ridiculously powerful, able to win you an entire match with one attack, it is also a headache-inducing cluster of rulings. The final forbidden card is Time Seal, which is part of a large web of related cards, all of which hit the ban list at around the same time. Time Seal and Drop Off are used to prevent your opponent from drawing. Temple of Kings allows for traps to be activated on the first turn, arguably making it better than Makura the Destructor. Then, these traps can be recycled with Mask of Darkness's Flip Effect, which can be activated again and again with Tsukiyomi flipping the monster face down. There's a similar locus of spell recursion as well. This time, Magician of Faith recycles spell cards. Again, it is flipped face down with Tsukiyomi, but this time it may also be tutored with Apprentice Magician. The faster, but more expensive option in terms of card advantage was Magical Stone Excavation, although DMOC is also a good choice when it comes to limited cards. Speaking of similar cards finding themselves onto the list, DD Assailant joins DD Warrior Lady at 1, boasting higher stats and a similar effect. This limitation is part of a wider effort to lock down easy removal cards. And Level Limit Area B is quite the lockdown card. Limited in my opinion for being too annoying, only really seeing play in stall decks and not contributing to engaging gameplay. Three cards which I would loosely describe as tribute support are limited: Dandelion, Treeborn Frog, and Last Will. Dandelion is one of the best token producing monsters, since the effect triggers regardless of how the card is sent to the graveyard, which includes from hand or deck, so this card could disrupt the Doomdozer OTK. Treeborn Frog is a conditional +1 every turn, sort of like Sinister Serpent, but returning to the field to function as perfect tribute fodder. Then, Last Will is one of the most flexible tutors in the game, special summoning pretty much anything Sangan can fetch. The card's condition is deceptively easy to meet, especially when tributing monsters. Last Will limits design space, hence it being limited. Reflect Bounder and Abyss Soldier are cute monsters, at least with their utility effects, but by no means game-breaking. It is good to see them slowly leaving the list, although it is a little concerning to see Deck Devastation Virus going to 2. This card might better fit in the side deck, and I personally enjoy pairing it with Zombira the Dark and Reinforcement of the Army, If you throw in Temple of the Kings, it becomes quite the disruption tool, but that is getting too far into deck building. As a quick detour into the TCG, the restriction of 2 flip effect related cards were loosened, the anti-support card of Noblemen of Crossout and the support card of Book of Taiyu, which were done to bring the TCG and OCG lists closer. Next time, we finished off 2006, and maybe even take a little time to explore one particular card which was so powerful it had to be emergency banned. The first of such drastic measures.